a very fast draft coming in from Team Disillusion, and I think if this game goes any later than like maybe like 35, 40 minutes, it's going to be very hard for them to win just by the nature of like Beastmaster and Lifesteal as you get later on in the game. But yeah, they've got a lot of sick combos, and BKBs are going to be very important for Holy Grail. And if they don't get them early enough, then they could lose quite a lot of their control on the map. And it's not like Team Disillusion are slouches from taking a lot of these objectives. The Abaddon tears through buildings, tears through the objectives as well. So they've at least got one hero that can take buildings for them.
Let's see how this all goes. Game numero dos. How many blood grenades do we have? We've got 2 of them. Oh, we've got 3. All right. I'm not sure how fast Griff is on working on the technology to count the blood grenades.
Blood grenade counter. Damage done from blood grenades.
Gold spent on blood grenades.
It was Solo, right, the other day, who basically bought like 6 blood grenades or something crazy.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah.
It was like blood grenade, die, and then blood grenade. He'd buy a blood grenade when he died, and then he would come back with another blood grenade. It was very funny.
How about this, right? We should make a change to Dota that as you get at the beginning of the game, you know, like how you get charges of the Spirit Vessel if it's at 0 now?
Yeah.
If you die, they should make some random item, like let's say a blood grenade, that if you die a certain amount of times, you can choose an item that you get for free. Like not a big item, like a blood grenade. So if you're feeding in the lane, they're like, alright, bro. No, not rapier, more like tangos. Like, dude, you need this. Or a wand, actually. You feed 3 times in the lane, you get a magic wand for your efforts.
That just feels so wild, and I guarantee you there's going to be like some nerd who's done the numbers with like, oh, if you feed 3 times, you're actually gaining gold for your team because you get the free wand, and you're only giving away an X amount of gold, and especially if you do it against different heroes, then that's even better.
Oh, so, gosh.
I could see that. I could see that definitely being abused and not broken at all.
Throughout the years, Fluke, haven't you all say, whom amongst us haven't wanted to say, boys, I was tactically feeding. And now we're just going to make tactically feeding a legitimate strategy.
I'm just creating space, guys. Creating space.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, look at how much gold that the enemy team's getting now. But, yeah, here's what it is.
So in this game...
I felt like the TP thing was a bit of a charity because, first blood could be happening with Garn.
Nah, he's fine. He has Uproar, he still has a Fairy Fire. He should be okay. But if he must be careful,
Oh, he's going to be very close. And this is the issue that I was saying, right? Like playing into a Sand King early on, like you're just going to get Fire Strike as well as Caustic Finale. And yes, you have a lot of HP on the Primal Beast, but it's a lot of damage that the Sand King can do. Yeah, I think this is going pretty okay for a lot of these side laners. Obviously, Small KK is doing a really, really good job. Lonfer is a little bit behind once again on the last hits, but nobody's really blowing anybody out of the water just yet. Whereas we saw in game number 1, Summer really did a number on Aeonid. But playing into the Darks here, he's naturally going to get his farm just by the way that Iron Shell works.
Yep. It feels like the only person who can die in this laning phase is SJ on this Oracle. Like, I don't anticipate Darkseer, Earth Spirit ever dying here. They don't have enough lockdown and burst damage bottom. Top lane, like, Ancient Apparition shouldn't really be dying unless he's very out of position. Dolem shouldn't be dying. Abaddon dying in laning phase? That's not going to happen. And they have eventually Shadow Realm for the Dark Willow, so we're going to have a nice little slow game, it feels like. And, you know, what's funny to me, Fluke, is that game 1 ended up being a slow game eventually, like 50 minutes. And that started off with a pretty impressive pace. This game might even go longer, given how, what's the word I want to use here? How relaxing this early game has been so far. Just some farm and chill for everybody involved.
Yeah, it's definitely very relaxing for everybody. I think it's a little high stress for Garn in the mid lane, playing up against the Sand King. So that could be an area that we want to keep our eyes on. That has potential for some solo kills to happen, and the 2 mid laners are really going to be able to crack open some of these side lanes with the first opening rune. So if the rune's a bit of a stinker, if it's like an illusion rune or something like that for either one of these 2 players, then we could be seeing not many rotations happen. But Haste, DD, Invis, Arcane, I think are all going to be very important for these mid laners to be able to make a rotation towards whichever side lane they think they need to get the kill in, and try and change the favor of the game so far.
Oh, speaking of mid lanes, Gone was going to get himself a bounty, just running away from Aaron right now. He might actually be able to get... he's not going to get bothered. Gets the water route, no problem. Do you want an interesting stat, Fluke?
Yeah.
So check this out, right? Since 733 dropped, right? You and I were doing we did Div 2 in Europe. We did some Div 2 China. We've done now some more China. We've done some NA games. Since 733 dropped, we have only seen, in the games you and I have cast together, 3 solo kills mid.
Really?
And think about how many games we've casted. We've only seen 3 the entire time.
That is a very interesting stat. I guess 733 has really made a lot of these mid lanes quite boring, to be perfectly fair.
Might be 4. No. We got you baited. We got you baited. You see, this keeps happening. We keep thinking it's going to actually take place, but then either nothing happens or they require supports to actually make the kill. So we should know better by now.
Yeah, we definitely should. And where we stand when it comes to solo kills, we don't get them anymore. Mid solo kills. Doing a good job in the bottom lane as well is SJ just annoying Aeonid. Like, this is kind of the power of Oracle into the Darkseer. You just get purged off with your Iron Shell and you can't really do much. So he is cutting lanes because he doesn't want to have to try and deal with a Lifestealer. And Lifestealer is perfectly happy with this because he's always got the feast. So he's going to be happy and healthy every single time that he has to fight underneath his tower. And it's just going to be farm trade for both these two teams. Just sit back, chill. Vanguard's up now on Aeonid, so he doesn't really care about any of the damage that he's taking. Top lane, Dolme's got his Helm of Iron Will. He's going to have his Diadem come out as well very soon, so he's chilling. Small KK actually has to go back to base after that small engagement coming in from Garn.
Okay. We like to see it. He'll be back soon with Aaron, though. They might actually try to make a jump onto those Primal Beasts, but they don't have the requisite rune just yet. Aaron going to try and make sure they can secure it, and they should be able to get it if it is bottom, but it's top. Sadly, though, it's an illusion rune. Not really going to make that much of a difference, but Ghana is going top. He has Pulverize right now. So they might be able to jump onto either a Baron or Ranfu down. They're even keeping up SJ as well. They really want this kill. They're going onto the Ancient Apparition first, and Ranfu Da will be killed off by the Trample, granting Gon the first blood of this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised Gon didn't just try and get the kill there on Alon Fer. He's only level 5 on the Abaddon. Yes, you're going to have to get through 10 stick charges as well as an Aphotic Shield, but you got the damage, man. Like, SJ's here. He can deal a little bit of damage with the Purifying Flames. You always had the Pulverize at the ready. So, quite surprising that they just they took the kill. The easier kill on Ranfu down instead of trying to get the carry. But either way, first rotation. It was a stinky rune, so it wasn't like it was easy double kill for him. But getting the kill nonetheless.
Yeah. Perhaps he thought to himself that getting the fact that it's first blood, it still justifies the expenditure of effort. If it wasn't first blood, it would have been so bad. But first blood, yeah, he's chilled. Still got to keep the Pulverize as well. Not that it matters because the spell doesn't have a cooldown. And
it's like, what is it, level 1? 36 seconds. Okay. Every crit wave, basically, you can Pulverize someone. That's epic. And I think that's why Small KK has put his attention towards the jungle now, right? Like, he doesn't want to be close to Garn, because if he cops a couple Pulverizes, and especially if we see DQQ anywhere in the area, they can combine their spells together really well. And Small KK, even though he is a universal hero with a lot of stats at his beck and call, he still is not all too tanky.
Sand King. Please, oh my God, Scriff, do the right thing. Click on Small KK. I want you to. I want to see this item. Oh man, I love this guy so much. All right, I remember you once mentioned that Aeonid is your favorite player on this team. So is Aeonid. Yeah. You are not him anymore, bro. Small KK is him now.
Yeah, Aeonid has been a standard good offlaner, and Small KK, I think he's definitely a mad scientist. I'm not sure if I'm super sold on Midas. If he just like turbo farms and gets like Ags plus like an Octarine plus all that kind of good stuff, maybe like a Radiance or I don't know, something wild, I could see that, but they need to hit a timing, and that's the issue that I've got here for Team Disillusion is they want to kind of group together when they get all 5 of their heroes online, and Small KK having a Midas might accelerate him to that item timing, but could also just set them too far behind that they're not going to have a Sand King to play with.
I really wish you could see my face right now. I'm just smiling, just watching this. I'm just so happy right now. Down bottom, Aaron gonna be dragging DQQ and SJ away from the lane, but doesn't really matter because Summer is still just gonna farm this wave. Building Radiance on the Slice Stealer. Enemy team has only Dogs here to take away my form, and even then doesn't happen all that regularly. And honestly, not I just want from Summer in this game. I just want him to prioritize the Nully at all costs. This feels like an incredible game for Nullifier on the Radiant lineup. And he might get closer to said Nully if they can kill off it. We do see Gon showing up as well. Does have Pulverize at the ready. Nice little vacuum onto the high ground. But Summer able to infest himself back to the ground. They kill off Aenid and get themselves some bonus gold.
All right. So again, another rotation comes in there from the mid lane. Gon being able to make that rotation, but they might lose Dolman in the top lane too. Yeah, he is a mega dead.
Very, very dead. Will get taken down. They might get Ranfu down in the process though, and SJ dropping down the level 2 Purifying Flames at least gets the quick revenge on the Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, you're definitely okay with that if you're SJ. You're like, all right, yeah, I'll take myself some free experience. Look at the experience. You got 464. Feels pretty good. Gets himself towards level 5.
Yeah. Midas up for Small KK. Also, Brother Fluke.
Big.
This is the 13th Midas all-time bought on Sand King. And surprisingly the fastest. I don't know how.
Okay. Well, I mean,
fastest
usually
Midas
if you're
all-time on this hero.
Yeah, usually if you've got about 2,000 gold on Sand King, your brain generally goes to Blink, but Small KK has some different ideas. He is going to go back for a Blink as well. I thought maybe with this Midas he might want to try and hit like a big item early like Ags. I'm not sure if they've fixed the issue with Ags where the lower levels of Sandstorm actually are better for Ags because there's less AoE for the little spines to pop up in the random area. So it actually means that you need less levels of Sandstorm for your Ags to be more effective to chain stun people. So maybe he wasn't aware of the tech, and now with maxed out Sandstorm, Ags feels really bad.
I mean, whether they fixed it or not, it's one of those things. It's one of these like memory hole pieces of information, right? Where I'm not gonna see Sand King for another 6 months after this game. So, Small KK, if anybody knows, it should be him. But you know, who cares? We'll see.
Yeah.
He does have it maxed out, and you know, if he gets Ags, we'll eventually see it. Also, I love that he's itemizing for an E-Blade after he finishes off his Blink Kaya. Man, I love this guy so much.
Well, it's actually really good, this game, into a lot of the summons, right? You will have issues into the Primal Beast, but if you're able to kite around the Life Stealer and, you know, stun up the rest of his team and do all the magic damage that you can, then it feels pretty good. So I'm definitely not going to be hating that coming in from Small KK. The thing is, for me, is just making sure he hits those timings. They've already lost Tier 1 tower top. They've had a little bit of pressure on their Tier 1 mid. But it's not under too much threat. But now that the fact that Dolme has been completely unlocked from that top lane, he can make rotations towards this jungle side. He can put pressure back on this Tier 1 tower. And if they've got a Sand King who's just sitting back and Midasing creeps, I mean, you might not be able to react too much to any of these towers being taken when your Sand King is still building towards that first big item.
And it just quickly cleared out a quad camp. It was very, very juicy. Rocketing up his net worth on the Darkseer. And he's building Pipe of Insight on Darkseer. You know, you just mentioned how good E-Blade can be. And I just realized that outside of some instances of Purifying Flames, you know, some Shadow Realm damage here and there with Bedlam, they don't have that much magic damage on Holy Grail. Wouldn't Crimson Guard be uber good relative to the Pipe of Insight on the Darkseer?
I think it kind of nullifies Primal Beast early, which is a big thing for them because Primal Beast is going to be a lot of their damage in these fights.
Well, Primal Beast is here now for an engagement. There's a wall dropped onto him though, and they still haven't killed off DQQ. Gon able to go back with the onslaught onto Aaron, killing him off instead. They were chasing that Dark Willow for such a long time. Honestly, Fluke, you know what would have made the difference? Man, if only they had one blood grenade. Just one.
Yeah. Get an extra free kill there on a DQQ, go back to base, get yourself another blood grenade just in case. But this is kind of what happens now when you get a lot of these inventories that just get bloated with just stuff. all the time. That's why we had the consolidation of the wards and all that kind of stuff, and the TP scrolls and to enable us to have a few more of these items. But everybody just has full inventories like all the time.
Yep. Ironed, running around DQQ, did a decent amount of damage onto him, but needs to be careful. Knows that he can definitely die under these circumstances. We also see that Gan is hunting down the Ancient Apparition. Renfu Da will die to the double damage Primal Beast. Man, I keep forgetting how much damage Trample does. Like, every time I see it, I'm just like, my god, this is a crazy spell.
It's pretty disgusting, especially when it's is based off of his base damage, and the fact that he has a lot of that being a strength hero and building into a lot of these strong items is hard to deal with for things like the Ancient Apparition. And that's kind of one of the issues that I had with the hero, right? Is you kind of get jumped on, and that's all you're really going to be experiencing throughout the entirety of this game is having one of these cores in your face. Maybe Renfu Da can hit some sick ice blasts, and we can see these fights really be dwindled down by a lot of the overtime damage they have. They've got like Iron Shell, they've got Sandstorm, they've got Magnetize. I'd imagine Lonfer, I haven't paid too much attention to him yet. Radiance for him, so there's going to be a lot of this damage that needs to be mitigated from Holy Grail if they do get clipped by this Ice Blast, and that could be the turning factor in a lot of these fights, right? Not having the heal from the Vlads, not having the heal from the Feast, and just slowly being chipped away at, especially if they don't get like a pipe coming out from Dolme or maybe even Garn.
One of the combos we've often seen with the Ice Blast has been a big stun into a big Ice Blast. They are looking for it on the Radiant lineup. They'd smoked up, but they don't have the adequate vision to find the grab. So this move ends up going nowhere for them, sadly. Mid lane, they might try to jump onto Aaron. Rolls away right on time because Garn was coming in with the Onslaught Pulverize potentially. But the Tier 1 tower, I'm not sure it'll be that lucky. They have a Helm of the Overlord from the Beastmaster. An Ancient Thunderhide is here, so Tier 1 tower definitely gonna get taken away. And dude, speaking of this Beastmaster, the Primal Roll, what a spell it's gonna be in this game. Even somebody like Lanfer, he's the only way they have out of it. So if you roll him, suddenly there's just no saves for anybody else.
Have to be careful in this bottom side. Does Summer. They made their rotation towards the top lane. I thought maybe Holy Grail was going to be able to catch out Small KK on his transition out, but they weren't able to get the kill onto the Sand King, and they put their sights on Summer, but don't want to go towards him. Going into a Radiance on the lifesteal is very hard. Like, a lot of your physical damage is going to be mitigated. And Lonfer is slightly behind when it comes to the net worth, so you don't want to put him in a pressure scenario that forces him to fight when he's not quite ready to shit. But there is some interesting items starting to come up now. Small KK is, from what it seems, going Kaya and Sanj instead of going that E-Blade, which I thought was going to be a great item for them. I guess E-Blade can get purged by the Oracle, so may not have been the greatest of purchases, but Blink at the ready, so they can fight if they need to for TD.
They're also going to fight from the Radiant lineup as well, as Garn really wants to pulverize somebody. When you're playing Primal Beast, you're very much incentivized to keep running at these heroes. They're not finding the grabs just yet. Dola might be in some danger if he doesn't get back here because they do have the Blink Dagger Sand King nearby. However, he's already thrown out a hook, has adequate vision of the area, is very aware of the play coming into him. And speaking of the Sand King, perhaps the idea is that if he gets Sanj and Kaya, then you have some status resist. Because the stuns in this game, they come really quick, right? You might not be able to avoid them, even if you bought like BKB. And that feels terrible to buy BKB this early on. You don't want to buy Lincoln Sphere either. So I imagine that if he gets stunned, him thinking that I won't die and I can maybe still stun the enemy back. And we might see that happening just now. He doesn't have the Sanj just yet, but a fight is breaking out. Wall has been dropped by Ironed. It's creating a small zone that they can try and take advantage of on the Dire lineup. And they rolled onto the high ground with the boulder. Don't find anybody. And the thing with this HG lineup, they don't have cooldowns. So if these fights don't go back well, they're just like, okay, right back to farming. We can make an engagement happen soon thereafter without it feeling like we've sacrificed anything in the process.
Yeah, that was very non-committal from them as well, right? They were always sitting in the back with SJ, just being able to readily false promise somebody if anything did go bad. The only thing they really used was a blade mail. Oh, that was sick.
That was so cool. That was nice. That was nice. All right. Shout out SJ, who's quietly also been putting in some pretty decent performances on the HG lineup lately.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of POS 5s really become unsung heroes as well, right? Just because they're not really playing the flashes of heroes. But the way that he dominated in lane in both Game 1 and Game 2 really shows a lot of prowess as a 5 player. I think that's where a lot of 5s can shine, is playing these heroes in advantageous matchups and really making it dominant. So SJ did a really, really good job in Game number 1 on his Undying, and now Game number 2 he's also done a fantastic job. And a lot of his rotations are very, very good. They've got a lot of defensive vision that's going out here for the Holy Grail, because they understand that at some point you're expecting like a Sand King +1 gank to happen. It just hasn't happened for TD. They've just really not done much. And that was kind of one of my issues that I have with them in Game number 1, is that we're definitely leave the map and do stuff, and they just never did. I just want to see them combine. Ranfu Dao's level 9, Aaron's level 8. Just go together. Okay. Just walk with small KK, bring A&E along, throw some iron shells down, let Lonfer do Lonfer stuff, and then just go kill some people.
He just bought Aghanim a shot on the Sand King, so you have to be going now. They've smoked up behind him, so there's no way in on earth that they don't try to make something happen here. Aaron has Rolling Boulder, they have Blink Burrow Strike. Now they have the better epicenter. Lanfa at the same time, though, getting gone on the other side of the map. They draw in Iron to try and help him out. They go with the trample, but they don't have the damage just yet. Small KK looking for somebody to stun up here as he shows up for the fight. They found the stun onto Summer, but immediately into the false promise. SJ bails him out. Might even be able to escape. No way. Okay. He dies, but that is one of the best deaths. If you're a POS 5 dying in that position, you are ecstatic. Sadly, though, they do not get Lanfa. The tier 1 tower gets defended. But how do you feel about this? Because they don't get Lanfa, yes, but it does draw all the attention away to this side of the map, and it does derail the potential smoke gank elsewhere that was being planned.
Yeah, you definitely will feel better about it if Dolam doesn't get caught out here as well, but they are starting to connect with the rest of Holy Grail.
Dolam, let's see how tanky you are, buddy. Has Hammer the Overlord, but no Ags, no BKB, no mech. Does have a pipe, but they still have enough damage to punch right through it. They do kill off Dolam. All right, some good stuff happening, and they're going on to Gon as well. Aaron barely misses the Rolling Boulder. And you know what's really funny to me, Fluke? Even though they've had some successful quick pickoffs, we still haven't seen an Ice Blast kill from Ranfu Dao. Feels bad.
Yeah, he used it bottom, but I have no idea where it went. I didn't see it on my mini-map. I heard it go off, and I saw that it was on cooldown, but I didn't know where Ranfu Dao threw it. So that is one issue that they're having right now, is they just haven't been able to combine all of their heroes. They're getting pretty strong. Small KK, I believe he's got the Kyra and Sanj running out to himself now. Lonfer has the Yasha on board, so he's again still trailing behind on Summer. But when you don't get the Radiance first, you definitely will be falling behind. So they definitely have some of their items, and Aenity's got both of his auras up. He's going to be able to build it into a Blink Dagger. If anything, this is probably your go time. Like, Small KK needs to abuse how much magic damage his hero does early to try and get some of these quick kills, and then transition that into items like, an Overwhelming Blink, a Shiva's Guard, a Radiance, an Octarine Call, like all of those items that allow you to go into the mid game and still do a lot of damage. Like, if it gets to the point where Summer he's going BKB. If Summer just has BKB, a lot of Small KK's effectiveness has really kind of gone out the window, because it's going to be double BKBs and playing into a pipe.
Yep. I must say that's one of the adaptations I've been kind of enjoying with Lifestealer nowadays. The much earlier BKB pickups. And it's like, with what you do, it's not like a random thing when the game is going super south anymore. Makes you super, super aggressive. You'll Scepter out onto Aaron. Speaking of aggression, they roll forward back onto Gon. Gon is actually so low. False promise though. SJ saves his life. Now we're gonna have an onslaught back into the team fight. Small KK getting pulverized while they threw the roll out onto Aaron. Aaron though still able to roll away, and Small KK. Nobody dies just yet. Ice Blast being thrown in by Ranfu Dao. Only connects onto DQQ, but there's no follow-up damage onto him just yet. And somehow, some way, nobody's dead. Small KK stunning up Dolam. All right, this time Dolam is very far from the rest of his crew, and so is SJ. So these two heroes should end up being casualties of this fray. Very bizarre fight, honestly, at the end of the day. But Direside very happy that they not only took the fight successfully, but it also alleviates some pressure onto the tier 2.
Yeah, it was a good response there from TD. I thought that there was potential for them to lose another member with Aaron getting Yules up into the air, but they just didn't connect on their spells, did Holy Grail. And there was a nice little initiation there from Small KK. Like, look at how much damage he does. He almost 100 to 0'd Garn. The only reason why he survived was SJ. So just a lot of damage in these fights, and I'm just scratching my head as to why TD, like, what they're waiting on. Maybe now they're waiting on, like, the BKB for Aaron. Is a good place for them to sit back and wait. Maybe they're waiting for Lonfer and kind of have this 5-man ball instead of walking around as 4 heroes, but they've got a lot ready for them. For TD, and they proved how much damage they can do to one of the scary members on the side of Holy Grail, but just haven't hit that go button just yet, and both teams are happy to sit back and farm and pressure other sides of the map.
They also did a very smart thing in that engagement by having the Doxia in with the Crimson God Pipe. So much damage mitigation coming in from them. Ghana and crew, they're going to be able to pick off Aaron. So the site of the last engagement is going to be the site of this particular pickoff. Ghana's just like, ha, got him. What's he building next? Aghanim Scepter with Blink. Pretty standard build up on the Primal.
Yeah, he hasn't gone too far out of the box. I'm a little confused about the Blade Mail. I think it's good when a lot of the damage that comes through from Small KK is quite unavoidable for him to give out. So it can mean that they can turn the tides onto Small KK, but maybe something along the lines of like just going like straight phase BKB into like a Sanjin Kai himself would have been nice. But I love Ags on this hero. This hero has like one of the sickest Ag Scepters, so it's going to be good in these fights. Finally, they've got Manta. They're smoking up. They don't have BKB just yet, but Snap, this might be a fight.
The question is, can they find the correct initiation? SJ positioning himself perfectly to pop the smokes and intercept a potential gank. And they're still just struggling with vision control. Playing against Beastmaster and playing against an Oracle that has been warding so well, I think that might be one of the big reasons why they haven't been able to make so many of these smoke moves connect. Because whenever they go for them, they just walk around and they're like, well, we don't know anybody else, boys. We can't do anything. They see SJ now. This should be a dead Oracle. And it has Blink Dagger as well, so if they need to vacuum him, they can, but they also have more than enough reach through Aaron and Lanfer. That might open up the tier 1 tower through the mid lane. And speaking of Lanfer, he is opting not to buy what we've been seeing. Oh no, he is. Okay, never mind. He had the Basher queued up, but he put Blink Dagger back in. He skipped Blink initially, he put it back. And we see bottom, you mentioned top lane that Small KK almost solo killed the Garn, and he would have done so without SJ. Well, SJ is dead, so that means Garn is too.
Yeah, and this is what I said in the previous fight. Like, Small KK does a lot of damage. I think maybe they might have been underestimating the amount of damage that he did, but he obliterated Garn in the bottom side of the map. That was through BKB as well, ladies and gentlemen, so think about that. TD, they get themselves a pick. They get themselves into Roshan. They take a tier 1 tower. Now they're ready to fight, but it looks like Holy Grail, they are well aware of this. They've got some ballers, they've got some heroes floating around. They're going to roar out on Aaron, I think.
They're going to try. Oh no, Aaron, he TP to the outpost. He's going to get killed off. He doesn't have buyback either. Roshan's almost dead.
On the Roche, though.
Almost going down. Ionet drops the wall. Can they finish off the Aegis? Oh no, the Terrorize!
Oh no.
Comes at the perfect moment. Summer snatches away the Aegis of the Immortal, and now they're turning into the fight. Lanfer needs to run himself away here, but he's surrounded by these Radiant heroes. His team has already abandoned him. They know what's up. He is dead to rights. Garn just came back from the grave, and he's the one that somehow gets the kill. Buys a Blink Dagger off of the corpse of the Abaddon. Lifestealer carries the Aegis, and the prospect of Team Disillusion's victory going right down the toilet.
Yeah, a series of unfortunate events. Small KK has a Lincoln Sphere, so he should be okay. Did they have charged through? No, Garn doesn't want to try and go for that one. So, yeah, that Terrorize was frame perfect. Just enough time. They still got the kill with the Radiance burn from the Abaddon. So they didn't completely lose out, but they lose the Aegis, which is massive for them. Losing that Aegis and losing Lonfer as well, with triple BKBs at the ready here for Holy Grail and an Aegis in tow. I could just imagine them just walking forward and claiming these tier 2 towers that they've got left to go.
They seem to agree with you as we have them congregating through this mid lane. They're actually going to smoke up. Very awkward smoke. Small KK breaks it immediately and comes back. Lifestealer trying to run into this engagement as well. This is not the greatest place in the world for either of these lineups to really fight. Holy Grail playing without that much vision on the low ground side of things. We don't have that much vision on Dire side either. And Small KK though, he's waiting in the wings, ready to come and counter initiate. And he almost has his Octarine core. 170 gold away from picking up the item.
Gonna be big. To be able to finish that off, to be able to give you a little bit of extra CDR, always nice. And neither team really wants to go all too far. Lonfer is kind of just being a bit brash, just walking in and start right-clicking some of these neutrals down. But I guess he really doesn't have much to worry about. Yes, they can kill him, but it's going to take them a long time to kill him. And that's when the rest of his team can counter-initiate. Well, KK is winding up.
Actually just goes right in, finds DQQ, able to kill off the Dark Willow. No terrorize this fight, buddy. Dolem finds the Primal Roar out onto Small KK, but that was onto Aaron rather with the BKB. Small KK is on the other side of the fight. War was dropped by AN2 onto multiple heroes, but they do have the triple BKBs like you mentioned. But as the BKBs expire, Small KK finds an angle for a 2-hero stun. Gon will be killed off as a result of this. SJ had Force Promise onto himself, will be killed off by Team Disillusion. 3-0 happening in this mid lane here. Very nicely done by this Dire lineup, and Small KK yet again doing an obscene amount of damage in that fight, but also their BKB on Aaron, I don't think they felt prepared for it. Like Earthspirit was able to create so much distraction just by rolling through, popping BKB and just getting himself away.
Yeah, the one issue is Garn didn't pop his BKB while he was pulverizing, so he got vacuumed off of the pulverize onto the BKB up Aaron. They also roared him at the same time, so they overlaid a lot of their stuns on the Earth Spirit, and I mean, when he's in BKB, he feels pretty invulnerable, and there is some issues starting to creep up here for the Holy Grail. Is they just don't really have good ways of allowing Summer to just sit back and right-click people. And I really like that Small KK has just kind of gripped it and ripped it, you know, where he just decides to go in. They have some good vision across the river where they're able to see what's going on, and he just went in. And I think that's what you need to do as a Sand King. You just need to go in, cause chaos, and if Holy Grail don't false promise somebody and keep them alive in some of those opening initiations, it's very hard for them to team fight, especially 4 versus 5. So it was a great initiation there from Small KK.
This is intriguing. Aghanim Scepter for our Lifestealer player here. Okay. What do you think about this Lifestealer Ags? I feel like, dude, I really want Nullifier. I'm not sure this is the best expenditure of the gold. I suppose this is a way to still get rid of the Lonfer abandon in the fight, but doesn't feel like Lonfer's right click is the biggest issue for them at the moment.
Yeah, it would have been much better if there was maybe another right clicker that we were seeing. The fact that it disarms them for the duration is always nice, but they can catch people out. The thing is Summer's never going to be able to really get in on Small KK because he has Lincoln Sphere, so it's going to be hard for them to realistically break the Lincolns and then be like, okay, now Summer, you can go infest him. It is good to try and catch with the Lifestealer. I agree with you. I think Nullifier is just way too good, especially in a game like this when you're having issues of sticking on top of people and dealing damage. So maybe Summer goes for that next. Who really knows? We'll see if Ags works out.
Normal, reliable Dota knowledge has not been applicable in this series so far.
Nope.
Not in Div 2 generally, actually, here in China. This
I've seen some cool YouTube videos with the Ags Lifestealer. I've seen some cool YouTube clips. That's about it. I don't know if it's good. It can
Have
be
you tried
good.
it in the game?
No. I don't
God,
like playing
so
Lifestealer. It's a very
what?
boring
You
hero.
don't like playing Oh my god,
No.
dude, Lifestealer is so much fun. I cannot tell you how much fun it is to play Lifestealer. This is the best.
Very boring hero.
Oh my god.
I'm going to left click you.
Yeah, man. But I'm going to do it in style. I'm going to look cool. I'm going to play in the lanes, man. This hero is so much fun. You're going to tell me, do you think Bristleback is boring also?
No, Bristleback's fun.
Okay. Who else is boring then?
What's another hero I've really kind of snooze-fested on? I think Lifestealer is probably a big one. I'm not really a big Dusa fan either. I think she's pretty boring.
I agree. That kind of sucks.
Trying to have a quick little look here. Another boring hero. Troll Warlord, I hate that hero.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say boring. I just don't like playing it.
I just lack, honestly, the constitution to play Troll Warlord. My heart rate's going to increase too much. That is not a hero for the faint-hearted. It's high octane playing Troll.
I'm just hoping that you outlast somebody else before you die.
Ooh, I've got you. Not the most boring hero in all of Dota. Wraith King, dude.
No, wrong.
What? You enjoy playing
King is my
Wraith
favorite
King,
hero, full stop.
but you don't like playing Lifestealer.
Yeah, because Red King has his
shit, dude.
skelly bros. You can have a dance party in the jungle with your bros. How cool that is? You got an army of little dudes, and they're just like as they're walking down the lane. That's awesome. What's he got? Huh? What does Lifestealer have? Nothing.
He does have the dancing taunts, you know? You get to spin
Yeah,
around, bro.
He doesn't have bros that dance with him. That's the issue.
All right, so basically what we need is Beastmaster to get a taunt where all of the Beastmaster summons also start dancing or hitting the drums of Slum with him. Aaron almost got killed off by said Beastmaster. Terrorize arrives just before he TPs out. A little bit unfortunate there for Aaron. DQQ, 2 on point with the Terrorize.
Yeah, that was a big 3-pointer from DQQ. Being able to secure that kill on Aaron. He BKBs, tries to roll away, gets roared, gets done, gets dealt with. And that means now that they can set their attention towards this bottom side of the map. I like now that, I'm not sure if Summer got it from the Tormentor. No, they haven't killed one in a while. Buying the Ag Shot is really big for them. Open Wounds is very strong for everybody.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No comment, bro. DQQ about to die. He gets hit by the Ice Blast, and indeed, he is about to get picked off if the Shadow Realm doesn't protect him. And it running down SJ as well as Summer, forcing the BKB out of the Lifestealer as they drop down the wall. Ranfu down. Eventually, the Ice Blast ticks over DQQ, so we do get a kill. I think that might be the first Ice Blast kill of this entire game. And now we have a BKB being popped by Dolem because he needs to run away from Lonfer in the game. But Lonfer has a basher, so they can cancel out the TP attempt and ensure that this hero does die. SJ, he dropped the false promise. They quickly kill him off and then turn their attention back onto Dolem. Was a fair amount of heal that came through the ultimate of the Oracle. But without the Oracle alive, Dolem will fall. And Team Disillusion fighting back here in the bottom lane, getting some very significant hero picks for themselves.
Yeah, good rotation. Good response. The Ice Blast was a big panic button for Holy Grail. They got hit multiple heroes with the Ice Blast. Ranfu Dao finally being able to connect the big one for TD, and that was all without Small KK. The stream didn't see it, so we won't talk about it, but Small KK was having a little scuffle with Garn in the mid lane.
Did not see it. It did not happen. Did not happen.
Well, we get to wait. Okay. So Garn lives, but that's without two big heroes, right? Without having your Primal Beast for Holy Grail and not having your Sand King for TD, that was a pretty handed fight that they were able to win. And this is the issue that they're starting to run into is Summer he just doesn't feel like he does much in these fights. He's 1-0-3 at 30 minutes into the game, like 37 minutes into the game. He does a lot of damage with his Radiance Burn, but he's just having issues just sticking on top of people and being able to convert that into kills. Like the only person that's really going to be in his face is going to be Lonfer, and he has to fight through Radiance. Now he has to fight through Abyssal Blade. He has to fight through Manta. Like all things that Lifestealer doesn't want to fight through, he has to.
Speaking of Manta, I'm also not we didn't really mention it, but I'm not a fan of this Manta style on Lifestealer either. Like, imagine instead of having Manta Axe, he had Nullifier Basher. How much more effective he could be in these team fights. And we're going to see a fight breaking out now as he throws in the open wounds onto the Abaddon, but it's an Abaddon. So Lonfer is chilling, blinks away, even triggered the borrow time to make sure that could happen. And they've wasted all the time from Holy Grail. Not feeling great about this. But yeah, wow, nothing is happening. Dude, talk to me about this. Why Manta? What do you think is going through his mind for this idol?
I mean, a lot of Radiance heroes like playing Manta. There's nothing. He can dispel the silence, I think, is a big thing for him, but he's already gone BKB. So going BKB and Manta and having Rage just feels like you've got three things that really kind of do all the same stuff. This Ice Blast is freakishly good.
Oh, that looked nice.
I don't know if it's going to stop them from doing it. They at least will get the idea from it, and Small KK can push in this bottom lane. But yeah, it just gives you that extra purge against anything that the Earth Spirit wants to do, like magnetize and what have you. So he has ways of playing the fight, but I do agree with you. He's just having mega issues of sticking on top of people, and I think Nullifier as well, a Basher, would have really solved that. I wouldn't have hated to even seen like an Echo Saber build, but we'll have to wait and see what Summer goes for in these later stages. Dolem.
Just gonna TP out, dropping the roll. Lanfer is not here with the Basher, so he's out. A Blink Dagger is available on Lanfer with Abyssal Blade, and he's now building into Skadi, so we're almost fully topped out on this Abaddon. We still have a lot of room to grow on the Radiant lineup, but it's really struggling. Like, where's the gold gonna come from? They buy a Blink Dagger now, sure, for Dolem. However, we have seen that jumping in onto these targets doesn't necessarily guarantee that they die just yet. They still need a bit more punch, need like a Hex. They still need a Nullifier, dude. I'm gonna keep going back to this. I legitimately believe Nullifier would have changed this entire game, but not having it, huge deal for this Lifestealer. Honestly, feel like a wet noodle. We saw in the last fight, I think he did like, what, 1,000 damage despite being alive for a very long time.
Yeah, and I think the issue is now for Holy Grail is I don't think Lanfer even has to set his attention towards the Lifestealer. Like, if Lifestealer pays a bit of attention to him, then that's all good if you're in TD's shoes. But, I mean, you're kind of sitting at a point where you're pretty happy if the Lifestealer is spending time attacking your Abaddon, because you can kill everybody else around him and he doesn't really do that much damage.
Oh, we get a Bloodthorn on this Lifestealer now. So Summer are going to be finding control in a different fashion, not out and out disable. Alright, alright. That's my prevailing feeling about it. Alright. Still doesn't really solve their problems, you know? We'll see how it ends up functioning in this game. They smoke up on the Radiant lineup. They're coming in for a fight. They have an Aegis to play around with. And Lanfer is in the river with the DD rune and playing very cavalierly because legitimately it's kind of unkillable right now. Ice Blast thrown in by Ranfu Dao. Doesn't catch onto anybody substantial. And Lanfer, borrow time gets triggered out. At the same time, Small KK finds the backline jump. SJ is gone from the fight, and it drops a wall right on top of him. There's no vacuum to follow this up with, but they might have set up a good fight for themselves. Summer does not have Rage BKB anymore, and they kill off the Small KK Sand King whilst Lanfer is dealing with the Gone Primal Beast. But now, what can Lanfer do against Summer? This matchup not looking good for the Lifestealer. He's trying to just get back up from the illusions, and he goes inside Lanfer. Lanfer's like, okay, bro, cool. Still alive, still fighting the fight. Coming back in, pops the Manta onto the Beastmaster, silencing him up and killing him off. And he will barely survive because there are too many allies here for Lanfer to fight against all by his lonesome. And he will eventually die to the pulverize of this Primal Beast. Ionid running away from the docks here right now. And just finding himself in this awkward position behind the fight. Not really able to do anything. And Han able to get a double kill off the Primal Beast. What a bizarre, awkward fight. And ultimately, the Holy Grail, despite an incredible jump from Small KK, emerged victorious in this drawn-out engagement.
Yeah, I mean, again, Holy Grail are just showing that they've just got a little bit more chops in these fights. It feels like even though they were well and truly behind, a lot of the net worth was away from them in that engagement. But their target prioritization, the way they're able to just keep people alive, and these fights just seem to be going much more in their favor when DQQ as well as SJ are out of harm's way. They were the two heroes that really didn't get caught out. They're able to live, and then False Promise and all the healing that they have is much easier for them to get back to healthy.
A lane of Rax is now falling. This is phenomenal. You know, not 10 minutes ago, win probability in favor of Dire was 87%. 87, dude. Insane number. But as we saw in game one, It's not about how far ahead you are, it's about how you close out the game. A small KK, at the very least, will find a kill onto DQQ here with the Sand King. Once again, if they end up losing, small KK is not the problem. Done everything he possibly could.
He's huge as well. Like, look how monstrous he is. He's 37k net worth. He's 5k above the next closest hero. He's got overwhelming blink, bots 2. Sergeant Kaya, he's got himself an Octarine core, and now he's building into a Dagon 5. Like, I was questioning the Hand of Midas, and this is what I said, is like, using the Hand of Midas, like, you kind of really need to make sure that you get the right items for the game, and they played relatively slow, did TD. I don't think I've really seen them play all too much pace. Maybe this Sand King hero is just a late game beast with the amount of damage he's able to dish out, because this game has gone on for 43 minutes, and I thought that this was where it was really going to start to pull away from TD. You know, Lifestealer being able to get access to a lot of these scary items, albeit he doesn't have like the Abyssal Blade plus Nullify combo that I think is going to be really strong for them. But yeah, he's just gotten to this point where he is such a insane damage dealer in these fights that the Hand of Midas really allowed him to accelerate to that. He's also almost level 30,
level 30, bro.
Which is bonkers.
Bro, I told you in the draft that the 733 patch, Sand King is probably good. I didn't believe it. Now I'm seeing it. And it's like, yep. Bro, I have to live in a world where Sand King, Morphling, Juggernaut, Medusa are all good heroes, imagine. Sorry. Ancient Apparition getting quickly picked off close to the base. Does have buyback at the very, if needed. But they're trying to make a big wall push here happen. Lanfa jumps onto Summer. Okay. You know, just showing a little bit of dominance there on the Abaddon. I don't think he realistically expected to do anything there. And top, Aenid getting terrorized. Dolem is at the ready with the Primal Roar. He was trying to cut these waves, trying to create some space. And he will create something. Unfortunately, it's only gold for the Radiant lineup.
Yeah, DQQ is a freak, man. Like, obviously, it was kind of set up by his Cursed Crown, but he max range terrorized, and then being able to combine with Dolem, gets themselves a kill onto the Darkseer. And this is what Holy Grail have been doing outside of what TD have been doing. Getting picks and turning it into objectives.
Yeah. Lifestealer.
A lot of buybacks.
Buybacks were out. Okay, we see now big jump from Aaron with the BKB going on to SJ. We'll be able to kill off this Oracle. And Hex was purchased up right now by this Beastmaster as well. They get out. It was 2 buybacks though, and one of them is on a core hero. So if Aenid dies again, not only will they be lacking a huge amount of utility from his itemization, but they really do need him to actually be there with the Vac Wall combo at the same time as Small KK. Because we've seen in this game that Small KK will make a good jump, but they just don't have the follow-up damage, the follow-up control. These 2 heroes need to be playing together, especially at this latter portion of the game.
Yeah, those combos can definitely be game-breaking, and as you said, Aenid is a little behind now. Does have the Blink Dagger and the Ags at the ready, though, so a lot of these fights are going to be really important to just out-execute the enemy team. We're starting to get into net worth doesn't matter kind of territories. A lot of players have a lot of gold that's floating around right now.
Lanfa getting himself jumped on by Summer. Where's the team? Team? Where? Okay, so firstly, there's going to be a pause for disconnect from Gone. But this also allows us to look at the map, right? I have a very interesting question for you, Fluke. Why is Lanfa here? Like, Sand King is all the way top. Aaron is playing all the way bottom. Aenid deep inside his own jungle. Even Ranfu down, not actually that close. What's Lanfa doing?
I have no clue. I really don't know. Like, I'm just trying to see if they have, like, they had some vision somewhere that maybe felt like he was a little safe. They don't have any vision of this lane. Like, they basically only have vision from Lanfa as well as the creeps. And yeah, this is something. This is something. If he lives, okay, it's fine. But I don't think he's going to live. And the worst part is, if you're Ranfu down right now, you're sitting here just going, do I try and help with whatever I can here against Holy Grail and hope that Lanfa survives and maybe gets like a trade kill, right? Or do I just dip on my boy and say, I'm sorry, fam, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and just leave him be? So that's an interesting question. Very, very interesting question. I don't know.
Fam. What you do here at this situation, all that Ranfu Dao can say is the same thing we all say to people who buy games on release, who bought Cyberpunk on release. Good luck, buddy. Enjoy life. I'm not getting involved here. I'm out. He might actually still die, right? They have a Beastmaster Hawk that's scouting him out. Let's see who has Blink available. So Garn is going to have Blink in 3 seconds. So if he has Blink again and he still hasn't used Pulverize, I think I would jump Ranfu down. I think they might actually have time to talk about this right now as well. The one thing that they do not have, they know he's in the area. They don't know exactly where. But once he walks into the river, the Hawk will scout him. We'll see what happens. But it's also not that important if they kill him. They just want Lanfa.
Yeah, that's what they really want, right? So Lonfer, he does have buyback available, so it's not the end of the world, but they're at least going to know that Eren is towards bottom, right? Because he just killed a Creep Wave. They know that Eren is like somewhere in the bottom side of this map. They don't know where Aeonid is. He can surge himself over there and could be back in time, because the way that this fight's probably going to go is that I imagine they're talking with each other saying DQQ can use up Lon first so he doesn't get any more heal from the borrowed time. When he comes down, he's going to have a very small amount of time left to utilize it, and then they can kind of burst him and kill him from there. And then the question is, how much time has that given TD to try and respond? Because what is it? 6 seconds until Small KK has his TP back up. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight. I think Longfur dies, but it's about the decision that TD make about whether or not they actually want to help him. And if they do, they may be able to get themselves some trade kills, or it could completely all fall to bits. Or they just leave him be and say, Lonfer, you might have to buy back. Yeah.
Better luck next time, buddy. Hope you farmed up the money for that buyback. We saw there on the itemization screen, for me, it's mostly stock standard neutral items, you know, your ninja gears for your Beastmasters, mind breakers for these life stealers. But SJ's one is really intriguing. Going for this Vindicator's Axe. So we see how much value they're putting into the Oracle just surviving the fight. They're like, as long as he can play with his spells, we'll always have a good inroad into the engagement. So between this, Glimmer Cape, Ghost Scepter, and the Aeon Dust that he's building, how do you kill SJ again this game?
You kick him. You just got to roll in, you kick him somewhere. But yeah, I mean, that's a good pickup with the Vindicator's Axe. The fact that it gets 20 armor when the hero is stunned. It's always really nice. So makes Oracle very tanky. Puts him up to 29 armor. He's got Ghost Scepter, Glimmer. Yeah, that is going to be a hard tell. They can kill him with Small KK if he ever does get vision of him, which is the one issue. But, I mean, Oracle can just, Fate's Edict himself? Yeah, he can just Fate's Edict himself, and then all small KK's damage goes out the window. So if SJ is fast enough, he can outplay anybody. And it's going to be hard for them to kill any of these heroes. So the big pickup for him, let's have a quick little inventory about the items. You know, we've got...
Let's see, we've got some time.
Very straightforward stuff going. What do you think about?
Except Summer.
What do you think about the moonshot here for Lonfer? I thought he was going Scotty, and I thought Scotty was great.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the moonshot. If I'm honest.
He went moonshot, and now he's probably going to die because of it.
I feel like the role that moonshot fulfills for this hero right now that I've seen on the Abaddon, you know, basically the insta proc on the Curse of Avernus, you get like pretty much more out of buying Harpoon. You're a universal hero, you get these incredible stats, you're able to reel heroes back in. If you're gonna go for like any type of attack speed, I would much prefer that. But Lonfer, we're back in the game at long last. Actually wait, why am I pretending we don't know he's dead already? They actually bite back, Aeonid. He gets a vacuum only onto Dolem here. They want to take this fight. Eren jumped into the engagement as well, and they find the backline jump onto SJ. Kill him off, forcing a buyback. Summer finding the life of Eren though on the high ground. So there won't be an Earth Spirit for this engagement. And it has a life stealer inside of him, but that leaves Small KK to jump the backline, looking for DQQ and zapping him with the Dagon. Gone with the BKB, able to rinse down the Ancient Apparition, throwing the Pulverize onto Lanfer, who doesn't have borrowed time, and now he doesn't have a life. The Abaddon is gone, and Holy Grail have won the team fight. And to make matters worse, Fluke, that's a dieback on the Abaddon. Lanfer,
Yeah.
the positioning is one thing, but the buyback, what the hell's happening?
Well, they obviously had a conversation about it. There was a decent amount of time with that pause. They thought, hey, let's just lose Lonfer, let him go in, we'll buy him back. He can get back into the fight. It'll be all good. Everybody else got obliterated. Small KK was, I felt like, the only one who did anything for TD. He's looking at the damage. Yeah, Lonfer just kind of lived and did his burn damage. Eren did 200 damage, and ANF did 800 damage. And looking across the Lysila, 13k.
Summer
Kinda tells the
alone did
tale.
more damage than the entire enemy team, and now they're jumping the dogs here, killing him off. ANF is
probably
gone.
game.
Summer has actually just won the game right now. That should be it. They don't have any buybacks available. And they're just going for the jugular. Octarine Core finished off with DQQ as well. All right, Small KK, you've run miracles before, my friend. Let's see what you got. This is the biggest hold of your life. He's waiting for the epicenter here, Fluke. Can he find this jump? The angle is there, but he misses
missed.
the barrow strike. Nobody's gonna die here. Pulverize comes out on top of him. They kill him off, burst him away. He does have buyback, but no ultimate, so there's no point. GG, well played is called. And Holy Grail make this a 2-0 affair. Both of them the exact same game, with Team Disillusion doing really well early on, but unable to translate.